Dr. Horn, we at Global Airways are just pleased as punch that you picked our airline to select the first stewardess to go into space with the astronauts for the Space Administration.
I have interviewed 146 of your stewardesses, and I'm afraid that they have not been up to par. Mr. Weiser, I don't suspect you know about the gruesome story of what happened to our astronauts on the Uranus expedition.
No, I don't.
Well, they were photographed coming down in the landing gear in the water, and they were holding hands, Mr. Weiser.
Well, now I understand why you want one of our stewardesses.
That's right. This is top secret information. But we suspect that there is civilization on Jupiter, and we just think of how it would look. The United States government sending two queers out to outer space. I mean, can you imagine how that would look? And 4 years in outer space, they've all been turning gay, and the only way to prevent this is one of your stewardesses. I feel, Mr. Weiser, that as Chief Psychiatrist for the Space Administration of the United States government, it is my duty to determine, I have determined that the women that you've shown me so far have been psychologically as well as sexually unfit for the task at hand.
Dr. Horn, do you hear that flight coming in right now?
Yes.
That's our flight 918 from Lisbon. On it are my 3 best girls. I assure you that one of them will be your girl in space. The first girl in space.
And he wants to see all 3 of them.
Mr. Weiser?
Yeah,
I've never been to the president's wife. What does he want to see us about?
I don't have any idea. He just told me to tell you to. Susan, I can't imagine.
Dear, I'm scared.
I bet it was that thing in the Lisbon to New York run. It was
I hate that run. It was you.
I bet it was you.
We had to cover up for you.
You know what you were doing in the
covered up for
cockpit.
you.
Yes. And someone asked me, and they said, "Where is she?"
And you told?
Well, no, Susan, but I just had to say you were in the bathroom, and you were in the bathroom for 5 minutes, and 10 minutes, and 15 minutes.
It was terrible, and I was trying to keep the passengers
calm. And all the passengers wanted you.
Right. They would put us on a different flight.
It's a horrible
Well, look at
flight.
that. It's, you know.
It's just
But the pilots, I mean, they're so fucking beautiful. You know, what can we do?
That's the only good thing
They're
about
beautiful
that flight.
everywhere.
Well, we're never going to find out what he wants unless we just trot ourselves down to the president's office. I wonder what he wants to see us for.
Wow, I knew what it was. It was you in the galley, fooling around with that guy from Salt Lake City.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
33,000 feet above Gander.
No, absolutely not. I'll never do anything like that. I always obey regulations.
Oh, come on.
You must be
Oh,
kidding.
wow. Look, it really doesn't matter. I wonder what he's for. So nervous.
I'm scared.
Excuse me just 1 second. Yes, Lisa? Yes, please have Miss Jones sent right in. One of our very best girls is about to come in now.
Well, this is one of the girls from the 918 flight.
Yeah, the flight that just landed.
Very good.
Miss Jones?
Oh, wow.
Mr. Weiser, I'd like to see you now.
Well, this is it.
Come with me. Excuse me, Mr. Weiser, this is Miss Jones.
Okay, Lisa, that'll be all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Jones, an absolute pleasure to meet you. I've seen your file. You happen to be one of our better or more excellent employees. I'm sorry I can't spend more personal time with each of you. but as you know, as president, I'm extremely busy. This is Dr. Rudolph Horn.
That's Horn with an E.
From the Space Administration. He has a few questions to ask you. And Dr. Horn, feel free to use my desk, my office. Why don't you have a seat, Miss Jones? And if you need me for anything, just call the control tower.
Okay.
Okay?
Mr. Weiser, thank you very much.
We'll see you later.
Okay, Miss Jones, why don't you just have a seat? I'll get this interview started. I'm not sure that you're familiar with what we're doing here. Did your employer explain? I'm from the Space Administration of the United States government, and we've been doing these projects where we're sending astronauts to places such as Mars, Mercury, Uranus, and we have a Jupiter project, which is going to be a 4-year project. Astronauts going to be in space for 4 full years. The problem we've been having is that the astronauts have been turning homosexual while they've been sort of in captivity with each other for great lengths of time. And we're afraid that there's going to be a civilization on Jupiter, and we would not like to show the United States government as a bunch of fairies. I hope you can understand that. So we think that if we get a woman to go in the ship, that if she's got the right, shall we say, ingredients, she might be able to prevent this sort of catastrophe from happening.
You mean to tell me, Mr. Horn, that I'm going to have sexual relations with 2 astronauts I've never even met before? Is that what you're saying to me?
That's exactly the point. But this interview basically is set up to find out whether or not you have the lack of inhibitions that we're looking for our first stewardess in space. Now, what we've got planned is an explicit sex film. If you have no objection to viewing it, I'd like your honest reaction to this explicit sex film, Miss Jones. This is 2 of our famous astronauts who are scheduled for the Jupiter flight. And in this film, they are having sex with Mr. Weiser's secretary, who just brought you in. Now, I'd like, as I said, you to give me a totally honest reaction, since you know none of these people intimately. I'll just kill this light here. And... Okay. So, Miss Jones, tell me, what did you think of that?
I really enjoyed it. I liked the way those 2 astronauts looked, and I'd love to go to Jupiter.
Ah.
Simply love it.
Splendid, splendid. I'd like to ask you a personal question, if you wouldn't object.
That's quite all right. Go ahead.
Do you recall your first sexual experience with a male?
Oh, yes. It was a long time ago. I was 15 years old. I used to go horseback riding very often in the summertime. And at the same stable where I went horseback riding, there was a boy a few years older than myself. And he was really beautiful. He was great. One day, we were out horseback riding.
Gee, Kay, what year are you in now?
I'm a junior this year. I'll be graduating next year.
Really? What are you going to do after you graduate?
I don't know. The counselor at Litchfield High said that maybe Carleton College would be good, but I don't know.
Carleton's good.
Yeah, I've been considering maybe going to stewardess school. You know, thinking of
Stewardess school, really?
Yeah, thinking about it.
A lot of travel.
Decision there. And, you know, I think I'd like it. Meet a lot of different kinds of people.
Do you think you're ready to really be away from home yet?
I don't know. Litchfield's an awfully small town. I've been here all my life. Gee, I'm I'm
I don't know, a girl
I'm
who's,
already 16 years old. I need to get away.
A girl who's been in a small town all her life, though. I mean, do you think you're ready for traveling around the world and being on your own? I mean, are you ready to handle men yet?
Men?
It's going to become a problem.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's always a problem when a girl from a small town.
What? What do you mean, handling men? I don't understand what...
Well, it's always a problem. A girl from a small town goes out into the big city and travels all over the world, and you're going to have that problem.
Oh, not me. I can handle it. I'm sure.
Really?
I mean, what is there to handling men?
Well, there's a lot to learn and a lot to know.
Maybe you could teach me.
Come on board. Come on, boy. Oh, boy. Come on. Come on, boy. Oh, boy. Whoa. You know, I think you're wrong to think that, that you're ready. You know, ready to leave Litchfield and go out into the world.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I am. The only experience I've had, well, I really haven't had too much. It's been with, the high school boys, juniors and seniors. I once went out with a senior. He took me out. Arnold Baxter. Remember, him?
The Larney Baxter? Sure, I know.
Yeah, the one with the glasses, yeah. Well, anyway, he took me to a friend of his was having a party, and they had one of those films, with...
What kind of films?
Well, this girl was sucking the guy's cock.
Oh, one of those kind of films.
Yeah, I tried it with Arnie, but he said it was dirty.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't do that, and so we just kissed.
Wait. You shouldn't do what?
Suck his cock. I think what I need is a more experienced man. I just need a man.
It was the most interesting story, and I find you splendidly uninhibited. I think there's a chance we might select you.
Well, can't you tell me now? I really want to go. It sounds fantastic. Can't you just give me some kind of... Just let me know now.
Well, I have 2 more girls to interview, and we should have a definite answer by late this afternoon or tomorrow. It's been very nice meeting you, Miss Jones.
What happened? I can't tell you. You just
come on. You gotta tell me. I mean,
I can't.
It could be so horrible or strange.
Oh, you're just never going to believe it.
I mean, we have to go in there.
You're going to have to hear it for yourself.
Miss Stryker, come with me now. Mr. Weiser will see you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Horn, but you expect me to have sexual relations with 2 astronauts who I don't know over 4 years?
That's the general idea. I would like to know a little bit more about you in terms of your sexual background, however. I'm wondering if you could tell me the first sexual experience that you've ever had. I know this is rather personal, but the information is absolutely essential if we're going to make an accurate selection. The other girls have all done similar.
Well, I think it was when I was a junior in high school. I had this boyfriend, his name was Freddie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like all the other boys, and he really wanted me to go all the way, but for a long time we didn't have anywhere to go, and my parents would come home, or his parents would come home. But he bought this, I guess it was an old VW Squareback. We went for a ride one day, and we went all the way.
Do you really know how to drive this? I mean...
Sure. Of course I know how to drive it. You know how long it took me to save up for this? I've been saving my pennies for this for a year now, delivering papers every day after school.
I know, I mean... But
just so I could be with you. Just so we can do it here. Your parents are home, my parents are home all the time.
But I can't do that. I mean, what about my reputation?
Oh.
What will everybody think?
They don't have to know about it.
Oh, they'll know. I think...
Well, how else am I going to prove that I love you?
If you loved me, you wouldn't ask me to do that.
Why not? I love you, Susan. Please let me show you that I love you.
You don't have to show me like that.
Oh. What do you need? I don't understand.
Well, Billy gave Barbie Sue his high school ring.
And then they did it? Is that what they needed to do it? That's ridiculous. Susan. Will you go steady with me?
Oh, Freddie. It makes everything all right. Oh, Freddie. Oh, I never knew it would be like this. Oh.
Miss Stryker. Susan, that was a most entertaining story. I think that we might be interested in using you for our Jupiter probe.
Oh, but can't you tell me now?
I'm afraid we have some more people to interview, but Mr. Weiser will get in touch with you within 24 hours. And thanks very much.
Oh, Susan, tell me what happened.
You're not going to believe it. You were right, Kay. I mean, I don't believe it.
Well, just tell me. You know, I mean, I have to go in there.
You're going to have to find out.
Oh, come on, Kay.
No, you're going to have to...
No.
Hello, Lisa. Bring in Miss Worth, please. And you know what to do.
What's the matter with you two? Are you crazy or something?
No, you'll know. When he calls you in, you'll know.
Miss Worth, Mr. Wise will see you now.
Miss Worth, I sense a bit of reticence on your part. You seem very hesitant, a little nervous. And the woman who we select to be the first stewardess in outer space must be completely uninhibited. Now, I've conducted several experiments with the other girls, but with you, I think we need something a little more dramatic. I'd like to try a little exercise with you. Now, what would you say, Miss Worth, if I got up right now, took out my cock, asked you to suck it?
Gee, I never thought I would have a chance of being the first stewardess in space.
Can you imagine the first stewardess in space? Oh, wow.
Well,
I couldn't believe it when he told me.
I know. I mean, you know, when I graduated from Grace Paradis and Stewardess and Charm School, I certainly didn't think I'd get a chance like this.
Well, Dr. Horn, what did you think of my three lovelies, the best of the crop?
Well, Mr. Weiser, they're very nice, but I still think that the final test will prove out.
Miss Jones?
Well, Lisa, all the girls have something very positive about them. For instance, well, as you say, Miss Jones has a certain sincerity and the fabulous eyes and the certain kind of angelic quality that I think might have a sort of hypnotic effect on the astronauts, if nothing else. And, of course, Miss Stryker has a very keen sense of realism. She would be able to handle any situation that developed.
But Miss Worth.
Miss Worth, actually. Now, I'm glad you mentioned her, because Miss Worth, she has that sensitivity that I've really been looking for, and my own personal feeling is that she was the best potentially, but this is a decision that will have to be made by the astronauts themselves.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Are you sure that this test is necessary? I would think that your analysis would be enough.
No, we really must see how the astronauts react to each of the girls. I mean, 4 years is a long time, Mr. Weiser.
Okay, if you say so, I'll have them brought up. Excuse me just a second. Would you have the girls brought in, please? Let's see.
Yeah, that angelic quality. Ah, girls, come in. Please, sit down, take your shoes off, make yourselves comfortable.
Ladies, I'm happy to announce that Dr. Horn is pleased with all three of you. Dr. Horn is going to explain to you the last stage of his analysis, which will enable him to select the girl who will go into space. One of you will probably be the first girl in space.
Thank you, Mr. Weiser. Ladies, I am pleased to say that we've all been happy with the three of you, and we found that there's something to be said in each of your favor. However, one more exercise will be necessary. It will be necessary for you to meet the astronauts in person to see how you all get along and who seems to connect best with them. I think that the astronauts themselves, since you understand 4 years is a long time, and it's important that the astronauts have the companion that best suits them. So we're going to bring them up here and just sort of see what happens. I have a few specific exercises in mind, but if there's anything that you would like to experiment with, you can feel free to do so. And at the end of the session, we'll have a definite answer for you. So we'll see what happens. Ah, here they are now.
Hi.
Hey, how are you? Boys?
Everybody?
Relax.
All right.
Ladies?
Nice to see you. Nice seeing you.
You know, this is Leo Weiser,
Of course, Leo.
president of Global.
That's all right. Stay where you are.
His secretary, Lisa.
Lisa, stay where you are.
Now, girls, this is our future heroes. This is Susan Stryker,
Susan Stryker.
Kay Jones,
Kay Jones.
and Mary Worth.
Mary Word.
Sit down and
you.
get to know each other. Now, you understand we haven't selected the girl yet that's going to... well, you understand that...
No, we know what we're here for. We know where to select one of you ladies to join us in space for 4 years.
You understand that 4 years is a
the
long
Jupiter
time.
probe. It's on, isn't it? Jupiter probe is on.
Yes, yes,
Good.
absolutely.
Good. Are you excited, ladies? One of you lucky winners will be joining us for 4 years in space. Just the two of us. 2 years apiece.
Well, it'll be the three of us. It won't be the two of us, right? We have
yes.
worked out an exercise which I think will be helpful in
That's
selecting
great, Doctor. I'm really
the,
glad that you
appropriate
suggested
girl.
that.
So, just the first exercise will basically be Susan, I'd like you to stimulate. Mary, would you do the same? Jones, yeah, you have the idea. I'd like you to sort of undress in front of them
in the moon.
and
spaceship.
be as provocative as you can. I'd like to see. You can do it in front of us, or let's see that.
At all when we're weightless.
Ooh, what's that like? You're so big.
Very nice. Think. Very nice.
Please be quiet, Doctor. You're interrupting.
Good afternoon, Global Airlines. One moment, sir.
Leo Weiser here. Who? Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Hello, Mr. President. This is Dr. Horn. That's Horn with an E. Yes. What's that, sir? The Jupiter probe has been canceled? But Mr. President, I've got the girls here, and we were just going to make the final selection. I told Mr. Weiser, they're involved in this very serious exercise What's that, sir? But there's another project? 2 men in a submarine for a year? Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. President. Yes, I'll see what I can do. Yes, I do, sir. God bless America.
Dr. Horn, what does he mean that the Jupiter probe is canceled? What about my airline? I've got my girls here. We've got a promotional scheme for millions of dollars worked out surrounding this. What am I going to do?
Well, there's this submarine project that the president was just discussing with me. And you know, everybody in the Navy takes it up the ass. So we'll just find which girl takes it up the ass, and that'll be the girl.
All right, fine. That suits me just as well.
And you'll get lots of publicity for your airlines, and
well,
why don't we relax and enjoy the party, and
we might as well.
We don't have the deadlines to meet anymore. And